Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy AJ from Research Reactions. Thanks for stopping by again, and we are here for another installment of Destiny Volume 1, and this is actually the final and third installment for this volume at least, and it's actually a really treat to end this off with, especially because it focuses on one of our favorite, well at least my favorite, Destiny character, rest in peace, but Caydes, the former Vanguard hunter in the game, and the title of this is actually called Caydes 6. So it's a bunch of his antics that we never really got a chance to see in the game, but we've definitely heard of, and his interactions with a number of characters that we interact with in the game as well as several ones that we don't always, well, we might have heard of and might be in the lore, but they're not someone that we interact with in like the tower or anything at all. So he starts off with, I would say, he's in a really tough situation, honestly. He looks kind of beat up. He's basically explaining a story to someone, probably who he was running some sort of job for, and of course there's a few ideas of who he might be doing it for, but he's basically retelling the story, trying to get his way out of a situation as always, and it just takes off from there. It's a really, this is going to be a real treat. I hope you guys enjoy it, and as always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this. I'm not sure we're on the same page, so let me catch you up on what went down. First, just so we're eye to eye on a basic truth, a job is a job, but not all jobs are the same. There's variables. Complications. Part of what I do is part of what makes me good at what I do is I know the variables, I know the complications. Not always, not every time, but more often than not. So if you think I'm not reading the room, if you think I don't know the angles, I do. And if you think I'm making the wrong play, that's only because you're looking at the wrong moves. And then whoever he's talking to, there it is. The fabled wit and overconfidence of the legendary Caydes 6. You'll forgive me if I have my doubts. Forgive you? I'd expect nothing less, but that's why we're here, yeah? A job got done and you're getting picky with the results. No worries, big guy. And now, basically, we have a ship landing in what they're calling Spider's Palace back in the Tangled Shore. And Caydes basically running through the situation. I'm more than happy to set you straight. We hit the shore in a stolen Cabal hauler. And then they're landing this hauler in the midst of a number of people. You've got Fallen here, you've got just random Cabal that really aren't working with the Red Legion, honestly, and a number of like rogue Awoken as well. There's a couple like really interesting looking Fallen here. Tons of like houses, the real pirate like ones that we've seen. And actually, I'll tell you, there's actually one here that looks like a Kel. So it's actually a really interesting scene here. The goal was to fit in. Ditch the high-powered fire team and smooth flyers, and smooth flyers Guardians are known for, and aim for a less obvious first impression. Believe me, as someone who makes one hell of an impression, first and last, it's important to know your audience. In Shoreside, the audience is nothing but hard cases, outlaws, outcasts, cutthroats, lowlifes, and high rollers with dirty souls and lax morals. But you know all this. I'm well versed in the shore's finer qualities, yes, responded the person. Right, so we landed and made our entrance. And it's actually really funny. So it's them walking in, and I'm about to name off all the characters that we've got here. Hawthorne's a bit of a wild card, new to the city, but not new to surviving, or a good fight. I figured she'd benefit from a broader worldview. Truth told, she took some convincing, and this is him convincing her. You're part of the big picture now, but this city ain't the whole view. I'm fine here, thanks. You say that now, but... And then he moves on. Banshee. He knows his way around guns, more than people know. And let's just say I owe him some favors. He owes me some favors, and every now and again we scratch each other's backs. And then Cayde's like, you owe me. Okay, maybe I owe you, but who's keeping score? And Banshee says, I am. And Cayde says, that's right, but you can't tell me you're... Cuts off, and now we're here. This is one of the newer characters. My main man, Jin. He's a survivor, no joke. Washed the red off his hands and hung his gun some time back. But I don't know many who survived worse before he made his way to the city. And then they're talking, not itching to mix it up, even just a little bit? It's been a long time since I had a fight to live. Cayde says, the Cabal kicked up a fuss, got the blood pumping, now them old habits are back on your mind. Jin replies, felt good to know I could still hold my own. I bet it did, and good, cause cuts off, and now we're here to Cayde's honestly next one. They're all a little bit of victims of Cayde. These next two are interesting. Nadia, she's one of my scouts. Works with me more than for her. She's one hell of a tracker and deadly in a scrap. And she's actually an awoken hunter, so we actually have another guardian here on the team. And they're talking, hey Nadia, you in from a run? Yeah, I just got back. Spent the last too damn long scoping Vex around the academy on Venus. And Cayde says, milk runs over, sister. How you feel about hitting the reef? Scouting fallen? Not quite. We're going hunting. And then last but not least, a Destiny favorite, I would say. And of course, Petra. She sticks out like a sore thumb. And a lot of bad folk got good glimmer on her head, but she insisted on tagging along. And who am I to say no? And then it's them talking. I don't think so. What? My crew can handle it. It's not what you can handle that worries me. It's how you handle it. Fine, you can come. And she says, I didn't ask permission. Alright. Now, Cayde's continuing in his current situation. That's my team, that's my crew. And whoever's talking to him says, can't say I'm impressed. Yeah, that's the point. We don't look like much. We don't draw the wrong attention. To the wrong attention is what we need to get the job done. And the job's done. Is that how you see it? All targets accounted for and quarreled. Much quicker than promised. All targets? Well, most targets, says the other person. That's, says Cayde, you were careless. And Cayde says, agree to disagree. And now we've got Cayde and basically his crew. They're basically in a gambler's den here in Spider's Palace, and they're all just like blending in, playing games. Looks like they're playing like blackjack and poker, but Cayde's going on. We hit the shore and made ourselves comfortable, enjoying the vices, took in the scenery. The job was hunting self-proclaimed barons, right? Well, why hunt the hard way? We knew our first target liked to gamble, so we gambled she'd show her pretty mug in a den of sin. She did. And it's actually Araskis, the trickster. Now, she's on a roll and feeling frisky. Gotta get close, but Pal's rules say no fighting. Too bad we gotta pick a fight. And this is Cayde talking to Banshee. I knew you were going to say that. I warned everyone about the law on the land. Argue, cuss, and talk tough if you're in a mood, but no fighting when you're in the palace, ever. I don't know who threw the bottle. Waste of good reefway slosh, you ask me. But rules are meant to be something, and well, a bottle, the noggin will piss anyone off. The trickster got mad. All hell broke loose, says the other person. Can't blame the joys and chaos of a bar fight on us. That's just nature. And we were lucky enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now Trickster's going crazy basically after Banshee threw a bottle at her. Or it might have been Cayde, honestly, who threw it and was blaming it on him. And now Banshee says, this was your plan? Worked, didn't it? Yeah, maybe the fight that followed. Brawl. Huh? The brawl that followed, Right, maybe the brawl got a little out of hand, but I gotta tell you, there's a method to my madness. And the other person says, to break the rules, to risk chaos, this is your method? Newsflash, if there's a job to be done, I'm not adverse to breaking the laws in a lawless land. And palace rules or not, this is that, a lawless land. Now, everyone's breaking out into a fight, honestly. Pretty much holding their own. Alright. Just as the dust up hit full volume, Araski's made a break. Now they're going for the trickster. A guard tried to stop her. Brave idiot could have been killed. And but Cayde basically tackles her. Out of my way, lady. Lucky for everyone involved, I intervened. Hey, sorry about that. I can tell by the smell of your voice you're not happy to see me. Off me, guardian, before I tear the circuits from your chassis and use your metal skin for scrap. Fair enough. The bouncers are going to have both our asses if we don't play nice anyway, so no harm, no foul. And now Petra comes up to her. You let her get away? Did I? She was our target. She's why we're here. Why are we... Petra? I've got 2 words and a lot of charm. Trust me. And you let the trickster escape, says the other person was talking to Cayde in real time. Keyword, Budlet. And just like that, we set the trap. So, we basically come to a new picture where Cayde and the crew are back on their stolen Cabal ship, and they're sort of hanging out in like the asteroid belt of the reef. Look, I'm a hunter. That means a lot of things, but the obvious takeaway is I hunt. It's what I do. So that's what I did. Shout out to all my hunters out there, by the way. What you did was let Araskis go. We had a Baron on the line, Cayde. Seems like an odd play to catch and release. I agree, this isn't some silly game. This is life and death. We got Hawthorns and Lydia basically talking in on them on their next plan. Yeah, I get it. But this wasn't CNR. This was a baiting off the hook. The trickster ain't the fish. She's the worm, or more like chum. Why snag one Baron when we can snatch up the whole lot? And you think they're holed up out here in this asteroid? Think? No. No? Yes. Huh, you bugged her, says Jin. I did. That little ping you're seeing is on the astro map. That's a beacon. I slipped it into her fallen friend's satchel during our impromptu run-in at the casino. She's gonna lead us straight to her crew. Then we cut him down and bring him in. There's no way Araskis didn't find your beacon. The Barons aren't fools, says Petra. Cayde says, I'm counting on it. You're counting on the fact she either ditched it out here to get us off her trail or she and her big bad Baron crew set up a snare of their own. So you think walking us into a trap on purpose? I've got traps and traps, Blue. I've got traps on traps, Blue. They know we're coming, they're going to expect a sneak attack. We're going to hit them with the opposite. Full frontal, face to face. And if bad goes worse, I've got an ace in the hole. Alright. Now they're at an asteroid belt that they were marked on. And we basically got Araskis coming up to the rest of the Barons. The cowards have sent their precious light bearers to the shore to hunt us. They taint everything they touch, and they feel superior. They are not. This one, the hunter hero named Cayde, he is a fool. So now we have the Mindbender, who's sitting on sort of a throne, speaking back to the trickster. A fool with many Elixni lives ended by his hand. He's built his legacy on our suffering. That legacy is set to end. Trickster replies, he planted a tracker on me. Thought he could stalk me through the shore. Thought I would lead him to my brothers and sisters. Thought he could trick me, trick us. And the Mindbender says, let him come. He brings friends. A fire team of an army. We will be waiting. So many filled houses and many dead. The time for ceremony and false worship is at its end. We are the barons of a new age. One we will mark with a sacrifice of this hero, Cayde's light. Okay, cool kids. We're on approach. We've got Kate basically back in his driver's seat on the ship. Party starts in 5. You're sure about this? The Barons, says Petra. If we'd nabbed Araxes, her crew would have known we were on to them. They would have gone around. Hitting the lot's the only way to ensure a chance to end their fun. I don't agree, but nothing. Beacon's dead ahead. We're here. Alright. Last second reminder. This plan sucks, but it's gonna work. I'm gonna walk out there all by my lonesome and have some words, get him cocky, get him off their game when I give the go, and trust me, you'll know the signal. Join the dance and bring the heat. It's that simple, really. And remember, we want these ether freaks alive and kicking, unless they're kicking too hard. Then just drop him and we'll deal with the hurt feelings at a later date. Anyone with any objections, save him for the I told you so's when this all goes wrong. But it won't, probably. So we're here, we needed to be, and I step out the holler and go looking for trouble. Didn't take long as I knew it, when the trouble was waiting. And now Kate steps out, the rest of the Barons basically just pop right up. So the Mindbender says to Kate, you are unwelcome here, Guardian. Funny, cause I was invited. Turns out, you and your friends ain't got any, but color me impressed. Fickrel top dog of a pack of houseless strays. Never thought you and your second buddies amount to much, but I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. Turns out, you lot finally kicked up enough dust to catch a bounty worth cashing. Long story short, you got too much trouble to your names, too many graves. At some point, all them bad deeds being on a reckoning, at some point, them graves become yours. And Mindbender replies, graves, yes. The shore hides many. Yours, however, will be marked and celebrated. You and your heroes of the light, you've built your hope on the breaking of those you oppose, but we've seen your weaknesses. You and your gods, you are butchers, false idols, born of a flawed machine's dying gift. That's big talk coming from a failed priest and his merry band of cutthroats. You fallen? Elixni, snaps back the Baron. Whatever. You four-armed filthy freaks raided this system. Now you want to stand here looking me in the eye and spin a snob story because we pushed back? Your mighty houses saw us on the edge of extinction, and you pushed as hard as you could. A lot of Guardians got a lot of blood on our hands. I got a lot of mine, but we didn't ask for it. We were just returning the favor. Truth told, we'd rather not. You think I want to be here with you in this desolate hellhole on the edge of nowhere? I mean, yeah, sure, kind of, but not really. I want to be in a beach, sipping something exotic, eating noodles and playing with my chicken. But here we are. You're a jerk and I can't get a vacation because you're not the first or the last. Fact of the matter is, it's always jerk season. You're just the latest in a long line, and I'm getting a little tired of it. Mindbender replies, and maybe it's time you rest. We can help you. We can take away your burden. That's it? That's your big threat? Forget it, I'm done. Do not turn your back on me, machine. I have need to hear your scream, and before this night is through, I will bathe in your light. And now Kay says, that's more like it. Just remember, you asked for this. And then this is actually a really cool double spread shot. I'm actually going to show this to you guys because this is actually really cool. Cade basically just draws his golden gun. It's really good artwork. And Cade basically just gets a one-time really good straight through the chest. Giant hole. Honestly, you would have thought he probably had Celestial Nighthawk on. Alright. 3 shots, dead center. The first did the damage, the second and third were just for show. And yeah, sure, the job was to bring them all in. I get it. Thing is, this lot don't play. And Fickrel, their leader, can't have him around to rally the rest. They'd be a constant threat. This was the only way to ensure, once muzzled, they stay that way. In short, a lesson needed teaching as I taught it. The rest went basically to plan. And you've got the rest of the Barons basically shouting and screaming in Elixni, and they're about to get ready to fight. Guys, remember when I said wait for the signal? Drop in Fixer was that signal, and we're gonna have more company than we anticipated. And in front of him is basically just like an army of Alexei coming at him. So now would be a good time for that backup. Cade, watch your six. And there's basically a vandal with swords that's like right about to like cut him. But right before that, you have Hawthorne, who basically snipes him like right in the head and takes him out. Good looking, better shot. Yeah, well, you didn't bring me along just for the sightseeing. No, I did not. Keep us covered. I'll do my best. Hawthorne's covered us from distance. She's good like that. Nadia and Banshee put down a wall of loud, angry lead to stem the tide, hold 'em back till Jin could unload with the hauler's forward cannons. It wasn't textbook, but we thinned the herd. And it's actually really funny. You've got Nadia with she's got her auto rifle basically just shooting at them. Caydes got his ace of spades going with right next to them, and Banshee pretty much looks like he's got two machine guns. He's got one in each hand, and he's just like spraying. All right, and we looked good doing it. Only problem was we kind of lost track of the Barons in the chaos. And there's actually this really cool picture here of all of them, sort of like an Avengers poster here. We've got Banshee, he's down to basically one machine gun, and he's just like firing forward. Nadia has her voided arrow, and she's in the air, but about to tether someone. Jin's dual wielding hand cannons. Cayde's got his ace of spades up in the middle of everyone, looking flashy, of course. We actually have one of the Spider's henchmen too, like kind of in the back. And Petra's in the front running and gunning. She's got her hand cannon and her knife. And Cade continues. Think maybe that was part of their plan. Petra's going into the dark with Cade, and their ghost is sort of shining light. We need cover. Yeah, that's not all we needed. Sundance? I'm here, Cade. But traps and plans is how I go about my day. You've been tracking the Barons? Yes, that's what you asked me to do, says Sundance. It was rhetorical. Call him out. It may be too late. This is ridiculous. We can't let them get away, says Petra. Sundance continues. You're 2 o'clock, on the ridge. They're grouped and making a run. Yeah, we'll see. And Cade fires in that direction. Backdoor compromise. Targets attempted to infiltrate, move the counter, and engage at will. And just like that, Petra made her play. Petra, did you just do that? Did you just do what I think you just did? And everyone sort of halts. Halt or be put down. It says a number of the Queen's Guard, who are sort of under Petra and Marisov, who sort of just basically flanked them. And they were able to catch everyone in a bit of a halt, because a lot of the Elixir and the Barons were basically stunned to see that one of the other Barons, I can't tell who it was, I think it might have been the sniper one, and he's basically crystallized, which honestly on this page looks a lot like stasis. So I think Cade was referring to her basically going ahead and using stasis in some shape or form. And Cade basically goes on and talks to Petra. You had a squad of Corsairs standing by in case my beautiful plan didn't go so beautifully? Do you blame me? Blame you? Petra, I knew you would. You knew I wouldn't trust you? I knew after Araski's beat feet at the palace you didn't take chances. And yet you took chance after chance. Is anyone paying attention? Says Cade. And the Barons basically give up here. Now we come back, and basically we basically come to a modern time in Spider's den. We find out that this whole time it's been the Spider who Cade's been talking to. Really shouldn't be surprised, since he did kind of help out with the whole capturing the Barons, we know, and we get introduced to him in Forsaken. And it's basically him, Banshee, Petra, the whole gang. And Spider goes on to say, I'm hanging on every word, so please, Cade, enlighten me. And it's funny because Spider has in his hand a ghost shell, It's always weird to me whenever he's got a ghost shell in there. It's like he's just mocking you, you know? It's like, yeah, I could take you out any time. He's just using it like a Rubik's Cube. And now Caydes says, Spider, pal, the game is rigged in our favor the whole way. I knew Petra call in a favor if she thought I was being reckless. I didn't include her courtiers in the plan of attack, because I didn't need the plan to known. You got eyes and ears everywhere, Spider. So do the Barons. Couldn't risk word of courtiers in the prow, ruining the surprise. Needed Fickrell and crew to think it was just me and my fire team rolling in. Needed them feeling bigger and badder than us. They didn't expect me to walk in alone and chat them up. Didn't expect Sundance was mapping their ether signatures. While I rambled so I could track them if they split. And where is your little friend? Sundance? Is that a joke? I know better than to bring her out around you. And then Petra sort of just chimes in, if I may. As much as I'm loath to admit it, Caydes' plan worked, and while he may have missed some details, the results speak for themselves. You vouch for the Exo, Petra? I do. And if that's not enough, your errand boy can attest to a simple fact. Ideal or not, the job is done, and the Barons are under a woken lock and key. I don't need to tell you, says the Spider. Should the Barons escape, it won't just be your heads on their hit list. They are caged, deep inside the prison of elders. Their only escape will be death. That sounds pleasant. So we good, says Caydes. We're good for now, says Spider. Debt's cleared, your efforts appreciated, but Fickrell is no longer anyone's problem, says Caydes. I told you. After we rounded up the Barons, we went looking for the body. He fell a long way. No way he survived the shots of the drop. But the shore's a mess. It ain't tangled for nothing. We couldn't find him. Probably bounced off rocks and went sailing into the debris field. Another bit of junk flowing with the refuse. All I know is he's dead. And he's gonna stay that way. I'd bet my life on it. And the end. And basically that whole last bit there, after I told you, and he's sort of explaining when they went looking for the body, you see the mindbender's body basically just laying in the rubble, and here comes a couple of feathers dropping, and then you see some boots, and then you see someone, a cloaked figure coming up to the wound, and then using some sort of magic or healing on it. And then you look and see who's under the hood. It's Aldrin Sov, and he definitely looks corrupted. So this is definitely at that point when he's been corrupted by not only the Black Garden, but Riven, and he's basically gearing up for basically the beginning of the Forsaken DLC. So that's pretty much where we end here, and that's the end of this volume. Other than that, there's some really good artwork that's shown here at the end. A bunch of concept art, as well as a few minor words here. You know, they give some character analysis of, you know, Ikora, Zavala, and a little bit on the Red War itself. But yeah, and I really do enjoy that Caydes story. It's really good because I always feel like his character was just gone too soon. I know there's a lot of stuff there in the background. But his character could have done so much, especially with like some of the content in the last year. To really have Cayde around really would have, you know, I think would have added to the story in such a great way. But at the same time, I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff we've gotten with Crow, so I can't be too upset with it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that as well. You know, again, this is such really a good read. If you're a Destiny fan, this is easily something that you should go ahead and buy. I recommend it. I bought this copy here on Amazon, but I'm sure Bungie has it on their store as well. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out. Keep on the lookout for some other comics we've got. If anyone has any suggestions for something you might want to see, go ahead and let me know, and I'll go ahead and add to the list. Honestly, I have a few here lined up, I'd say, for the next month or two, but I'm always interested to see what you guys have to say. So with that, I'll go ahead and see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I appreciate you all for coming through as always. Take care, everybody. Peace out.